I remember a day in college where I was with a group of people in a class and we were waiting for a teacher to come. And then they talk about how Furious 7 is like the worst Fast and Furious movie ever, and saying how much it disrespects Paul Walker and they should have just ended the franchise at 6 and that's it, because they think they killed the franchise and disrespected Paul Walker's name. And I thought they were too harsh. I thought, like, there's no way that they knew Paul Walker was going to die. They already filmed the movie. They already had a lot of his scenes done, but a few extra scenes they need to finish. And I'm pretty sure that everyone in that movie, the actors, the directors, the producers, and everything, they cared about Paul Walker, and they were saddened about his untimely death. And they say that Furious 7 was the worst of the series. Here comes Fast 9, the most overblown, over-the-top, poorly paced, dumbest movie ever. And I kind of enjoyed it. So all the guys out there that were in college that didn't like the movie, honestly, these movies are so over the top now. You should just hang out with friends, get drunk, and have fun with these movies. Because honestly, it was dumb. I hated a lot of things about this movie. But I can honestly say I had a better time with this movie than Hobbs and Shaw. Because Hobbs and Shaw, I never even posted my review of that. I was going to long ago when that movie came out. How I was bored of that movie, how the pacing was so slow, how the comedy between Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham was just so repetitive, boring, and just got old so fast, dragging out scenes for too long, had unnecessary cameos with Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds. I was so bored of that movie, I actually fell asleep in the theater and kept waking up in and out of the movie. And once they got to the part where he was fighting with the Samoans, when The Rock was fighting with the Samoans, alongside the Samoans to fight Idris Elba and his superhero-powered team, I was out. I was tired. I didn't know what was going on. By that time, they were already on the car chase where they were flying the helicopter that Idris Elba was in, and The Rock was like trying to pull it with his muscles, and I was already like clocked out of the movie, bored and tired. I was clocked out when they were fighting on the fucking truck, when they were destroying that factory they were in. The movie was just so boring and had no interesting characters that led the movie, despite these characters were interesting in the Fast and Furious films. But when they're in their own spin-off movie, it just felt lifeless, boring, and kind of derivatively deviated from the message about family is everything. And that movie did have family in it, but it wasn't the main focus. The main focus was basically The Rock and Jason Statham being bickering couples, like a bickering divorced couple, like 24/7 in this movie. And it gets real old real quick during the first few minutes of this movie, and you just get tired of it and you get annoyed by it. Fast 9 has dumb shit in it, which is the main topic and review that we are talking about with this movie, which is Fast 9. Fast 9, of course, is talking about another story with Dominic Toretto. It's another Toretto-focused movie about his past, that he had a younger brother, and it's about the story about how he and his brother fell apart all those years ago. And Dom seems like a hypocrite in this movie, talking about, in each movie to never turn their back on family.
There's always room for family.
Always care about one another. And yet he goes and disowns his own brother because his brother wouldn't admit that he like didn't know that when he connected these two fuse lines in the car's engine, the car was going to explode, killing their father who was driving in a NASCAR race. Like, his brother didn't know that. His younger brother didn't know that, yet he kept getting mad at him. But his younger brother, as you find out at the end of the movie, that he made a promise to both their father that he would keep a promise, that he wanted his dad to throw the race because he wanted to help support his family. Because he couldn't afford to take care of his family. Because he ran into some money problems and he wanted to support his family by throwing the race and hopefully, you know, get them the money they deserve, which ended up killing him in the process, but I guess helped support his family for a while, even though, you know, that family did crimes for years, basically. And it kind of feels so petty and stupid. Honestly, you would think, like, you would break, there had to be a line drawn in the sand on where you should break a promise. Like, there has to be a line drawn somewhere where you can say, like, look, I didn't know our father was gonna die. Yes, he told me to spark these wires together to throw the race, but it was his idea, not mine, and he promised me not to tell it to you. There has to be a line drawn somewhere so you and your brother would not fucking have a long, bitter hatred and feud over each other for years and not talk, and one becomes a spy, one becomes a criminal, later turn into a freaking super spy as well, because he works for the government to help them capture bad guys, even though the first instances they robbed a bank and shit. Yeah, try to figure that out, how they went from robbing banks and robbing trucks to helping the CIA capturing bad guys. Try to figure that one out, moviegoers, how they went from racing to this. And it kind of is stupid to me, because it's like, it shows that Dom is kind of a hypocrite, kind of looks like the bad guy for disowning his brother and hurting his brother for not having a family left, and he was left to fend off for himself and being taken care of by Michael Rooker, which is probably the most typecast role Michael Rooker is probably in now. Stepfather of future superhero, basically. First Chris Pratt, now John Cena. And he only had one scene in this movie, probably because he was busy doing Suicide Squad. But then again, we all know he's gonna get killed off in that fucking movie, so who knows how long he is in the next Suicide Squad movie. Was it long enough for him to just only have one cameo in this film and that's it? Fuck should I know? I don't know at all. The movie has the dumbest things ever. And there are things that this movie has acknowledged that needs to be put to bed. Like, how far should we listen to the people of the internet? Like, listen to the people who are fans of Sonic that you need to change the look and design of Sonic to look more accurate to the video games? Good. That's a positive. We're waiting for that ugly ass Sonic cut, Paramount. We want to see the original footage of him as an ugly Sonic. So please get on that. Listening to the fans of Justice League and DC comics in general to release the Snyder cut of Justice League because Joss Whedon's cut was terrible. Also a good thing to listen to the internet about. Listening to Aaron Hansen talk about advice on what makes a good Sonic game, awful, terrible. You should not have listened to them. Listening to us making memes about, dude, what if Dom and the rest of the family and his crew went into space? Like they drove cars in space. We were joking. We were making memes about it and joking about like, lol, could you imagine? And they actually fucking did it. We weren't serious. We didn't actually wanted them to go to space. And then they did it in this movie. And guess what? It's the dumbest shit in this film. It's the dumbest thing because you know why? Because family survives. Yes. Because this movie's about family. I wonder if I have the attention span to listen back to this footage and edit my... Every time I say family, Dominic Toretto, a clip of Dominic Toretto is going to say family as well. Every time I say family. I just fucked myself because I just said it so many times in that one sentence. And I don't think I'm going to have the attention span to edit that. I don't know if I will, but it's going to be a challenge for me when I put this video up on Tuesday. So, sober me, you gotta witness my drunk ass self saying family so many times. Oh, he's gonna hate this. But then again, the editing software has updated on this phone, so that's cool. But this movie has like the dumbest things a lot. And the space thing is the dumbest thing in this movie, but not the most over the top. They use a magnet for their cars. This powerful magnet to go and take out metal objects to stop like a huge armored vehicle in this movie. And the amount of cars that got destroyed to stop this one tank is crazy. Because you have to think to yourself, how many innocent people or lives were in cars when the freaking like Toretto family are like trying to like stop this vehicle by smashing cars that innocent bystanders had that probably don't have insurance for, that they use to stop this vehicle. Hell, how could you not know that their innocent lives are still in those cars? There are probably people fucking dead from you trying to stop the cars, but whatever, it's to save the world because... God damn. We did it together. We kind of suck. The movie has so many over-the-top things. I think the worst one for me that I didn't like in this movie is when Tyrese talks about how they have not shown a scar, how they haven't died yet, and they survived through everything in all movies and haven't died from all insane missions, and they couldn't survive because he kind of depicted the theory that they might be superheroes, which is another meme that people have speculated on, saying that the Fast and Furious franchise are basically superhero films at this point, because how the fuck are they surviving all these impossible stunts without breaking a single bone or having a scar? And the movie has the dumbest parts about that, because there are scenes where both John Cena and Vin Diesel are fighting, and John Cena punches a pillar next to a wall, and that pillar is destroyed. It's decimated by the one punch of John Cena. And again, it's John Cena. I mean, have you seen those muscles on him? I wouldn't be impressed if he didn't break a wall. But seeing Vin Diesel getting carried by John Cena to get hit by the top of the I forgot the name of the top half of a door. A lindel or something, I can't remember. But when he gets hit by that was on top of the door, he gets hit in the head, the wall collapses, it falls apart, and somehow Vin Diesel doesn't have a speck of blood on him or any minor concussion whatsoever. He just walks it off like it's nothing. Because, again, Tyrese's theory about them being invincible and not having a single scratch on them, which is weird. Especially with the parts where they have so many hardcore crashes in this film. Yet, despite all the carnage, despite how fucked up the car got beat up, the protagonists are still alive and well, and they haven't even had a single scratch on them. I mean, sure, there are some instances where they have a speck of blood on their forehead, but it's immediately gone, and you don't see any scars on them whatsoever from it. It's dumb, but it is entertainingly dumb how stupid this movie is. But at least in the previous films, they were somewhat grounded in reality, that they wouldn't stoop that far to do something over the top like going into space. And I think that's because since Chris Morgan, who has written all the Fast and Furious movies since Tokyo Drift, did not return for this movie because apparently, I guess, he was busy writing the script for Hobbs and Shaw while they were busy filming F9. So, director Justin Lin took his hand on the table to write a script with other two writers, and they made a new movie out of Fast 9 while Chris Morgan was out writing Hobbs and Shaw. And yet Hobbs and Shaw is the most boring movie ever that I would never see again. That is tiresome, drags on too long, and has the worst chemistry between two main leads in that film. While F9 is the most over-the-top, stupid movie that appealed to the memers out there who love the Fast and Furious franchise and made something hilariously bad. Yet, it's more enjoyable than Hobbs and Shaw. So technically, they won at this point. Like, are you gonna go watch The Rock and Jason Statham just argue and bicker? Or are you gonna watch Vin Diesel talk about family for so many hours and hours long, how to never turn your back on them, and then have a cameo from dead Paul Walker at the end of the movie? I'm not kidding. They have Paul Walker's car makes an appearance in this film, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? At this point, you need to end this franchise right now at F10 or F11, or at this point, maybe F15, because we gotta cover all the F keys on the keyboard at this point. I give this movie 6.5 out of 10. Like, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's honestly not the best of the franchise. But honestly, if you got alcohol in your house, or buy a 12-pack, or buy more than that with a couple friends at your house, drink happily, get drunk as fuck, and watch this Fast and Furious movie with your friends and have a good time, honestly, you'll have enjoyment with this movie. I mean, would you enjoy this movie sober? I didn't. I thought it was stupid when I was sober, but when I was drunk, I honestly took a liking to it, though I still hate that Cardi B cameo. It is the worst thing I've ever seen. So, Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds, you got lucky. I thought your cameos were the worst, but Cardi B's, I couldn't fucking stand it at all. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. My sober future self is gonna hate me for all the amount of times I said the F word. So, I'll see you, Wolfpack, in the next video. Ciao, darlings. And next week, our next movie review will be The Suicide Squad. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to that.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!
Family. Family.